YouTube, W&J's Handy Dad here, and today we're going to do the revised for 2020 system for putting the ceramic coating on the windshield. Now if you saw my original video, I put the ceramic coating on. I followed the directions to a T, which included wiping it down with a wet cloth. Well, apparently wiping it down with a wet cloth basically wipes it off, so I don't know why they have that in the instructions, but today we're going to do it the way I think it's supposed to be done. It seems to work better, and that is basically to clean and prep the windshield. I'm just going to clean it with window cleaner and alcohol as the prep, and then we'll wipe on the ceramic, let it kind of set up for a few minutes, and then just buff it off with a dry towel and let it cure for at least 24 hours. Now, addressing some of the complaints from the first video, a lot of people said they couldn't believe that I didn't pick up the windshield wipers. Well, on a Crown Vic, you can't really pick them up, and if you put them up in the middle of the window, you still can't pick them up. So they're basically in the way. So I am compromising by just doing the visible part of the windshield. My goal for the ceramic is to have the water repellent so that when it's raining, the wipers don't have to work as hard. I'm not so much worried about this area in here as far as like dirt. The other thing that I have found is it seems like the ceramic coatings, or at least all the ones I've ordered, are basically the same product whether you pay more or less for it. So what I'm saying is the bottle is the same, the label on the bottle is different. That leads me to believe that the product inside the bottle is probably the same thing. So pay more or pay less for the same thing, it's up to you. But I basically have been buying the cheapest ones after discovering that the more expensive one was the same bottle with a different label. The other thing, if you have not yet discovered these lint-free window microfibers, they are really amazing. I'll post a link. They do a much better job than just a standard microfiber towel. So that is it for prep as far as a normal windshield. I have a little bit of paint overspray up here. I need to take off with a razor blade. Nice thing when you get paint on glass, so a razor blade takes it right off. I don't know if this came from when I did the roof or if this was overspray from one of the other paint jobs. I've painted so many different things on this car, it's hard to keep track. Shake up the product really well, and then dispense approximately 5 drops on your applicator pad. They come, depending on which one you buy, with different types of applicator pads. They're basically a foam pad with like a kind of a microfiber-ish paper towel to apply it with, and then just smear it on as thin as you can get it, going both horizontal and vertical, and just add just enough ceramic so that you can see it going on the glass. I'm just covering the area that is most likely to be looked through when driving. I'm not really worried about having water resistance on some of these edges. But you can go as close or far away from the edges as you want to go. And you can see the product when it's on. It darkens the area that you've covered. And depending on your weather, it's about 1 to 5 minutes, maybe as much as 10 minutes before you buff it off with the clean microfiber. So that's usually enough time to complete like one window at a time. And even though it looks like I'm putting a whole lot on, a lot of times nothing comes out of the bottle when I'm tapping it. Let that dry for a bit and then come back and buff it off. One thing I forgot to mention, it's a good idea to wear gloves when you're doing this because it's not good to get it on your skin, and also you don't want to get your fingerprints on your work area. Number two, it's best if you can have your vehicle garaged while it's curing, although I've done it outside and I didn't have any adverse problems, but obviously you want to avoid driving it in a dusty or dirty area right after you do this. And you do need to be careful if you let it dry on your vehicle. It's a nightmare. You'll want to, if you go too long with the dry time, get a wet rag and wipe it off as quick as possible, and hopefully you get it off of there and then start over and dry it less time. Because it seems to be kind of a fine line between not enough dry time and basically caking on there like a clay pot or something. So I find just buff it in with the microfiber and turn the towel often, and you'll see where it's streaking and where it's not. And anything that streaks will dry on like that. So like I said, you want to make sure you buff it to where there's no streaks. And this also comes in to play with not going all the way to the edges. As I'm buffing, it seems to smear it towards the edges, so I'm actually probably getting coverage on everything. So that looks good, it looks clear. I'm looking at it from different angles to make sure I didn't miss any spots. Do the other side. So we'll let that cure. Like I said, I'm not going to drive it. And with the Texas sun, it should bake in really well. So you can do that on all your glass surfaces, mirrors, headlight lenses, plastics, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do this window next and the rear. I'm not going to film it obviously, but you can put it on these surfaces to protect them. I've been experimenting with some different things and I'll put a video out. Basically what I'm trying to do is figure out what sort of tire shine product, 303, whatever, you can put on first and then put the ceramic over it, because if you just put the ceramic on top of the dried out, faded black plastic, it doesn't seem to do near as good a job as what you'd want it to do. When you're done for the day, you want to rinse all the ceramic out so that your pad stays soft and pliable. And then same thing with your microfiber that you use to wipe down everything. You want to rinse all the ceramic out of it. Otherwise, if you let it dry on there, you'll have a very crusty towel that you probably just have to throw away. And I don't know about you, but I can't afford to just make these towels one use only. So, hope the video was helpful. Appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And please tell your friends about my channel. Thank you very much.